Howdy, my name is Tucker, and like many people out there, I am extremely morbidly obese. But I've managed to lose 70 pounds in about 4 months, 3.5 to 4 months. And I wanted to maybe like share a couple tips, things I learned, and kind of just start my fitness journey. I see a lot of people like recording and like talking about their journey, and I just thought like maybe I could give some helpful advice or like talk about a new angle or just like show off that like anybody can do this. I started out at 500 pounds, which is a lot. I mean, you can kind of see, but I am now thankfully down to 425, and I just wanted to like talk about it a little bit and like share some of the like advice I've been given, like some of the tips, things that keep me going. So I guess we'll just start from there. Like number one, I know like the first thing everybody tells a bigger guy, and you've probably heard this before, is like, hey, you have to do cardio. Like you're gonna get on the treadmill, the Peloton, elliptical, just start doing cardio. That's like the worst advice you could ever give anybody of my size or even just a bigger guy in general. Because like number one, and let's be honest, you're gonna get you're gonna get bored. You're gonna get bored. I'm not gonna try to cut it. You're gonna get bored, right? Like everybody gets bored of a gym. That's why you drop out. That's why you see all the New Year's resolutionists, as they call it, where like they go to the gym, they get on the treadmill, they're like, this is gonna be my year. I'm gonna shed some pounds, and then they stop coming. And it's because cardio is really boring. Number two, it's just not effective. It's not a good way to lose weight. Like, I believe the cardio is good if you're doing it to like 15 to 20 minutes a day, maybe a couple hours after your regular workout. But if you're just trying to like do cardio to lose weight and all you're doing is cardio, it's not going to work. That's like one of the worst things that you can be told. It's one of the worst advices like anybody can give you. Number three, it's a good way to hurt yourself too, because like again, you're a big guy, you're not used to running, you're not used to like moving fast. You know, you can hurt your Achilles, you can like pull your leg muscle, you can just, it's very easy to injure yourself doing cardio. So like I always tell like my friends when anybody asks like, hey, what have I been doing to like lose weight, like what advice do I have to give? I tell them that cardio is just like a no-go. It's a non-starter. Like you should do cardio, but only again like a couple hours after a workout and once you're already kind of established at the gym. I recommend strength-based training, and I don't recommend just like, okay, let's hit the dumbbells, let's hit the bench press. Try a little bit of everything. Like when I started out, it took me like a month of doing cardio before, and I lost like maybe like 6 pounds. And then my friend, who I've been going to the gym with every day for the past like 3.5, 4 months, I saw him doing cables, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm doing this cable exercise, try it. And I tried it, and it sucked, but I was like, hey, I can kind of do this. And I was like, is it okay? I'm going to follow you around tomorrow at the gym. He was like, cool. So I followed him around, he showed me all of the machines he was doing, and I found that that was a really great, effective way for me to learn how to do it. Now, I would always encourage, especially if you're a bigger guy, if you have somebody else that you can go to the gym with, whether it be like a loved one, a partner, a family member, a friend, you always should do that. Because having somebody else to keep you accountable, having somebody else that like you can kind of like compete with or work off of or share similar goals is kind of the best way to like get started. And I just think that like, if you really want to succeed, you got to have somebody else there with you. But I recommend like strength-based training. I recommend just doing like a full like workout set. So maybe you want to try out the Smith machine, because if most of you guys who are watching this probably use Planet Fitness, and I think that's a good starter gym. I think once you hit your first couple goals, maybe you should consider going to an actual gym. Not that Planet Fitness isn't an actual gym, but I think that it's important to be around people that are where you want to be. And the problem with Planet Fitness is it's a lot of people who aren't in shape, who aren't necessarily ready to take it to the next step. There's a lot of people that use the equipment that you want, that they're always on the phone, they're always like talking or they're texting, and you can't get what you want, and it gets frustrating. And I think that like eventually you'll want to move on. But if you're starting, the Smith Machine is a great place. No matter who you are, try it out. I'm a really big but also tall guy, so I mean I started with like 45s on each side, but I recommend just starting out with like, depending on who you are, like 15 to 20 on each side. See how it feels, or even just bench the bar and just see how that feels. And try doing incline at first, opposed to just laying down. Incline is like when you're like this, laying down is like flat. And I recommend incline. I think it's a little bit easier for bigger people, because getting all the way flat is just, I mean, it's hard. What are we talking about here? We don't have dexterity, obviously. I mean, our balancing skills aren't that great. You're just gonna flop over. I remember I fell out my first time, and we'll talk about the goofs and gaffs at the gym. But yeah, I'm gonna recommend trying leg press. There's a thing called abductors and inductors. I like to call them the booty builders, but like they're actually kind of the most important thing as a big guy you can do, because it's just going like this with your legs, or doing the inverse of that. But you're really like, it actually is effective. And again, like those leg press, if you can have somebody teach you cables, because it is kind of a complicated process, but there are a lot of really good cable exercises that are really easy to do, from just doing this to like an overhead pull to a pull down. You can basically do a full exercise workout on cables, and I always kind of recommend those, or at least when starting out. Other things I would recommend are just like easy, again, like dumbbell chest, dumbbell overhead, easy to do this, easy to do this. Like you can sit down and you can do any of these exercises. Chest flies, same thing. You'll see a machine. It's got like two handles like this, and you can do them back like this, or you can do them forward like this. And I think they're both pretty great, pretty easy to use, and I would highly recommend them. And again, if you're a really big guy, anything that you can just sit down on and get the movement in is important. And I'm just saying, guy, this is for anybody, but like basically anything that you can get that movement on is very important, and I recommend. The second thing, I mean, everybody nails this into your head, and again, like this isn't going to work for anybody, and I actually nobody would even recommend what I'm doing to myself, so I wouldn't recommend it to you. But diet is incredibly important, but diets don't have to be boring. Like a lot of big people, the biggest problem is your favorite foods you can't eat because like, oh, you know, there's so many calories. First thing, there's an app called MyFitnessPal, not sponsored, obviously, this is my first video. MyFitnessPal, fantastic app, it's free, you can log anything into it. I mean, there is like a subscription feature, but like, I mean, I've never used it, and it doesn't force you to use it, so it never even really pops up. And then a Steps app to keep track of your steps is also great, and those are both free apps. I try to recommend, like, if you're just even walking around the house, try to get in at least, like, if you're starting out, maybe like 3,000 steps, but you should really always aim for 5,000 steps a day. It's just like a baseline. And like I said, after you've done some of your strength-based training, then you start the cardio. So I recommend starting out with the Peloton if you're a big guy, just because trying to do a treadmill, you're gonna hurt yourself. Like, might be too big for the elliptical bike, and I mean, don't really want to go like this. So I just recommend the Peloton. It's nice and easy. You can take it at your own pace, and you'll burn a lot of calories doing that. But know that like the calorie number you see is not actually the real calorie number. It's maybe like 50% of the calorie number. So just take that with a grain of salt. But back to the diet though. For me personally, what I did at the start was I drastically just cut down my calorie intake. So I just went like crazy and was like, I'm gonna do a calorie deficit. So what I did was I did 1,500 calories a day, and I'm like, this is all I'm gonna eat for the whole day. And I stuck to that actually. Like that's been very successful for me, but most people probably can't do that. But I basically would just grab a Bibimbap bowl and I'd eat like half of it, and then the other half I would save for later, and I might eat it, I might not. And I think that worked perfectly because if, let's say, I wanted to have a pizza, I could still have pizza. Maybe just like 3 slices, but I could still have pizza. I mean, that's my food for the day, though, but it's my choice, right? Like, I mean, you got to have protein shakes. So you want to mix in the protein shakes in there. I recommend like 3 protein shakes a day. My friend always tells me I need to drink more based on my body weight. I disagree because I'm trying to lose weight. But I also want to keep the muscle. And let's talk about keeping the muscle, right? It's hard because when you lose weight and you start to lose weight, you'll also start to lose muscle. But there's a way to prevent that. Protein shakes are good, yes, but let's talk about creatine. Specifically, creatine, I think it's called HCl or HL1, but it basically attaches to the water. From my understanding, now creatine H1L is better for bigger people because normal creatine attaches to the water molecules. You'll gain some weight, but you'll also gain a lot more muscle. I mean, over time, you'll lose the weight that you initially gained, and you'll keeping on the muscle. But with H1L, you really won't gain any weight, but you will keep the muscle as you start to drop weight. And I really recommend it just because, like, it's helped me out a lot. For like the first like 2 weeks, I really didn't lose anything. I lost like a pound, maybe like a pound and a half. But after like those first 2 weeks of taking it in the morning, I started dropping really fast, and I noticed that I was getting stronger as I was dropping because it was helping me build on muscle while losing the weight. And I'm going to tell you this, like, again, the name is really, I wish they would just change the name because it just, every time I mention this to somebody, they think it's something else, but it's not. There's a pre-workout called OxyShred, and they make one specifically called a fat-burning OxyShred. Again, I don't recommend this for everybody. I'm not a doctor, but for me, I mean, a pre-workout's just something that gives you energy, like a caffeine, like an energy drink, but this has something in it that just makes you feel full. And you take like 2 scoops of that before your workout. Rest of the day, you're not going to really feel that hungry, or at least that's how it works for me. And your stomach might hurt a little bit, but I mean, honestly, it's fine. Like, you're losing the weight and you're getting healthy in the long run. I really like OxyShred. I think it's a fantastic product. I think it gives you a nice little bit of energy, but again, it also helps you stay full throughout the day. And it's not like some weird substance. It's literally, you can just buy it at any like GMC anywhere. Like, I mean, you buy it online, GMC, Amazon, it's kind of everywhere. So, I mean, look into it yourself, but I recommend those 2 products. That's what I've been taking, and they've been helping me a lot. And with the diet, again, most people aren't going to be able to stick to a 1,500 calorie diet. I'm just telling you what I've been doing. I mean, I sometimes even fast, so I just won't eat for like 1 day, and I'll do like intermittent fasting every other week. And I think that that's really helped when you get stuck on a plateau. So like if there's like, let's say I'm stuck at like 440, which I was stuck at for a while, and I just couldn't lose the weight, I would fast for like a day. I would never recommend fasting for more than 1 day, even though some people might tell you to. And then the very next day, I would be down like 2 pounds, and I'd get through that hurdle, and then I would start losing weight again. And I think that that's been like a very big, helpful thing for me. With the diet, again, I also recommend, because most of you won't be able to stick to a 1,500 calorie diet who are watching this. That only really worked for me. Small, nutritious meals throughout the day that are low in calorie. Use the MyFitnessPal app. You can get like a skinny bagel at Aldi's. They're like $3. They're like 100 calories for 1 bagel. So, you know, you could do that with some egg whites, maybe like 1 egg. Eggs do have a lot of calories in them. You'd be shocked, but it's true. Like 3 eggs is like almost 300 calories. It's almost like 100 calories an egg. So like egg whites are always better, but if you want to do like an egg, that's fine. And then maybe like some blueberries or some strawberries. A nice, healthy, balanced breakfast. But let's not stop there. You know, you're going to get hungry again. So have a protein shake afterwards. Wait 2 to 3 hours each time. I was told this, and it's life-changing. I recommend this for everybody else. If you're going to eat, wait 3 hours. I would say wait 3 hours between each meal, and try to aim for like 5 to 6 probably 5 small meals a day. That's what I was told to do, and I think it's worked a lot. It's what I've progressed to now. I started off with a 1,500 calorie deficit. This is what I'm doing now. After the first meal, after the protein shake, you're gonna get into your third meal, and I recommend again some protein, maybe some like beef jerky, maybe just some protein chips, maybe more protein shake. Just try to get in more protein, always more protein. But also maybe some rice cakes, right? Maybe like rice has a lot of calories in it, so check your rice. But it's still good for you and it's still filling. But I also think sweet potatoes are really good too. So maybe you want like a nice sweet potato, some rice cakes, any of that will work. It's low calories. You're not going to be having a ton and you're going to feel full. You could have like 4 rice cakes and it's maybe like 150 calories, and you can have a whole sweet potato. Again, it's under 200 calories, and they're both pretty filling, and you can just mix and match that up. For the fourth meal, and again, I like to include veggies, so I do asparagus, because asparagus, whole cup of asparagus is 24 calories. And asparagus, despite the look, tastes pretty great. I know Codename Kids Next Door brainwashed me into thinking otherwise, but it's pretty great. Mushrooms, also really good. Love those. Low calorie as well. So I recommend those, but you got to do at least 2 to 3 servings of veggies a day. And with the fourth meal, you're going to want to do some veggies. Again, I do a protein shake, but maybe if you're starting out, you want some more food, do some protein chips, low cal. Even like pork rinds, honestly, are pretty low cal, and you can fit those in there, and they're pretty tasty. People like those. Like I said, beef jerky is pretty low cal. You'd be surprised. I just check calorie content. It is important. I know it's not the most important thing, and most actual nutritionists and doctors and scientists will tell you that you want full balanced healthy meal, but I know that for a lot of people like myself, that's just not going to work. You're not just going to want to eat veggies and fruit all day. So you can have some snacky stuff as long as it's low cal, and you're keeping it low cal, you're going to see some progress. I usually started out with an hour and a half in the gym because it takes a long time to learn the machines, but I recommend again no more than 30-second rest in between reps or sets, and just hop from one machine to the next. Try to take as little time as possible, because the more time you take, the less calories you're burning. Your body's going to feel a little bit sore, so make sure you're just trying to get through the workout as fast as possible. I always recommend that as well. And again, with the diet, fifth meal, try to do some steak. Aldi's has a great steak option. You can get free for $8, and they're 250 calories. You can do chicken. You can do salmon. Stay away from any pork products though. I know I mentioned pork rinds earlier, but actual pork chops and stuff are pretty high cal. So, and they're all fat, and it's there is good fats, and we'll talk about those in another video. But for the most part though, super fatty products, not great. Also stay away from anything that's super high in sodium. That will get you. Even if it's low cal, if it's high sodium, it's gonna retain water in your body, and you're gonna just end up putting on weight. So and that weight might come off, but it takes a couple days, and it's not gonna look great on the scale. Just low sodium, always good. I mean, it's good for your health too. So these are just the things I've been doing, some of the things I've been doing. And I just wanted to make a part 1 video, let you guys see the progress, let you guys see what I've been doing and what's been working out for me. Right now I can do about 250 on the bench press, and my deadlifts at about I haven't really tried more than 345, I think, but I could probably do more. And I've just been feeling really good, and I just wanted to share and maybe get this out there and help some other people. So again, thank you for watching.